Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Today, it's a black and blue matchup in the NFC North between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. The ball on the tee, we're set for football, and we are underway from Ford Field. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Swift. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help. And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch. And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. 16 yards, a little deja vu from the previous play where they got 16. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. The Lions at 9-6 now. They come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD. And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory. That pass caught. It's Williams. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped it to 1. That's good for 28 yards. A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. Swift diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories, and you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you? You certainly do, and when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there, that nice opening drive, because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. They go play action here on 1st down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive? Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense... And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Aiden Hutchinson make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass, followed by a sack. And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0, and the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Sean Murphy-Bunting. And the Vikings are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. First play's a run with Nwangu. And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. The defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
A second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I think he just made the punter a little bit jealous there. There was some serious hang time on that ball. Deep downfield, and while it didn't connect, it certainly sent a message, didn't it?
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Man open, it's J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other.
Man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. Touchdown. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Extra point right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They had the interception last drive, led to the tying touchdown, so 7-7 the score as they begin 1st and 10. He's airing it out for Williams. And incomplete on the deep ball. These two teams met up earlier in the year, back in Week 4. And it was the Lions who got the road victory in that one, so they'll be looking to claim the season series now here at home in Detroit. On 2nd down, Swift. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try and run here with Swift. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. 4th down now after a loss of 2. Here's Jack Fox now. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk.
He's got him in, complete.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15. And sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money.
And that's how you start a drive, because you know they had this play in their back pocket, waiting for the right time to unleash it. And boy, did they pick the right opportunity. Unleashed it big time.
The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Let's go now.
Nwangu.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Kene Nwangu with his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived, as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula to get them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe they can get this game tied up.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Flushed out right. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Danielle Hunter in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
That's complete. Oh, he's hit. He lost the football. Put it on the carpet. I'll call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. They don't care if it was luck or skill. But the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
He'll look to throw. He'll get this off to Swift. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. On play action, they'll throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10.
So they're able to win that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal, you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated Bruce. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown, and their last time out, look and repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
They get 16 out of it, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. the middle, Nwangu.
No gain on the play there. Nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on fourth.
Here's Blake Gillikin now.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their third drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
Amazing, perfectly placed. If that ball goes 1 extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And this will be scooped up in the end zone. The defender gets there, and it's a touchdown. Extra point attempt to follow here. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
And this is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And he returns this to the 22.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. He sets to fire deep. He's got him in, complete.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They run zooming past that number there. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. And 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw again.
They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. And the Lions are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line.
CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They're going to look to throw. Short throw to Disley. And some room to work. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. And he'll let this one go deep for Chark. It got his man complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And here comes a return. And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was on the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Back to Nwangwu again on first down. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
That's a really good gain right there. They picked up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 5. Looking deep downfield. This is intercepted. And the Lions are going to get the football back at their own 17. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for them.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. They'll look to throw here. He'll drop this one off to Swift. And they'll get him down here at the 23. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down. Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on to kick it away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily to look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers.
Ready.
And now we're going to get a delay of game. And that's going to back him up halfway.
Okay, break. Madden 60.
Back to throw. He's going to look deep down the field. And that is incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They try to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big 3rd down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
So from their own end zone here, this kicks away. Here's James returning. They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Oh, that's good decision-making right there. Understood down and distance. Knew it wasn't 3rd down, and he still had another opportunity to earn the 1st down. Good job throwing it away and avoiding an interception.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he's fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
48 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Hasn't had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that 1st half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Going up top. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. And the Lions are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate.
This is caught at the 20.
And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. We saw this plenty last year in college. He loved to take his shots downfield, and that throw, that was a thing to behold there.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2. Moving backwards on 1st down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on 2nd down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up.
And in for the Lions, touchdown. Will Dissly from 19 yards away. And the Lions are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Extra point split hits the uprights, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. There he goes, right side. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Minnesota. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Yeah, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case when it comes in special teams.
So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw.
Pulls it in at the 13. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle.
Second down and 5. From the gun, here's Swift.
And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Lions on third down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 5. Back to throw here. Open man is Jacoby Myers. He's got it. And he is going to have the Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right in a yard. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they?
Open man, and he's got Williams. Touchdown, Lions.
A great effort there. 44 yards.
And the Lions will add to their fourth quarter lead.
Extra point right down the middle. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. Well, these defensive coaches, they sure like what they've got in this rookie corner. And with good reason, as you saw there.
He only cost him a day 2 pick, and a lot of people thought he had first-round ability. But when he was available on draft night, that was one where you didn't need the full time to make the selection. You call that pick in early, and it shows why he was so coveted with that interception there.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
2nd and 3. Touchdown!
Jamison Williams
with touchdown number 15 on the year and 2nd of the game.
And the Lions are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter.
Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game is played. He's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. He'll look to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want it.
And now here's another interception.
Picked by Chad Muma. And the Lions are going to get the football here at their own 23.
And you have to wonder, Charles, in a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
They run out of the gun with Swift.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
72 yards on the ground here for Swift, and he's got a 1st down as well.
They'll drop to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He's airing it out for Williams. And he's got it inside the 10. Touchdown, Detroit.
Yet another touchdown in what has just been a high-scoring affair, a fun one to watch. And it's the rookie quarterback, Charles, coming through with yet another touchdown pass to pad the lead.
Did we come into this game where defense was optional? Because it certainly feels that way, right? But when you look at the scoreboard, this rookie, he has his team moving at a little bit quicker pace than his opponents. The entire offense is going to get plenty of praise. And I think these coaches have to be especially happy with what their quarterback has done.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll set up to throw. And this is caught on the sideline. Are the feet in? They are. What a catch. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Thornton.
And he's got a 1st down as he's going to be taken down. But a very nice pickup there just in front of the 2-minute warning.
First down, Minnesota.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And my goodness, another interception. And the Lions will take over here just shy of the 30. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used the calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way. I have to jump into myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now, I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. 2 yards on the pickup, but that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Ordinarily in short yardage, most people don't run a toss because it takes a little bit longer to develop. But some teams see it as a very physical type run because the amount of people that get out in front of the runner, offensive linemen, tight ends, sometimes an extra back, they like to run that play there and try and run over people.
Tackle there going to Marshawn Lattimore. Here's a handoff to Swift running left. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. And Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends. And understand